Hi guys, Cryptid here, your humble internet drawer, and today I am back. And you probably didn't know that I went anywhere, but I did. I mean, I didn't go anywhere, but my laptop did. If you saw my community tab post, you'll know that I have some good news and some not so good news. I'll start with the not so good news, which has been resolved. And that is that my laptop broke a second time. So I had to take it back to laptop jail because it wasn't fixed the first time, and now it is, allegedly. I don't know, I'll find out. We'll see if it breaks again. I'll keep you updated. But the good news is that there are apparently over 1,000 of you guys now, and I am like amazed. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have all you guys here. It means the world to me. I love you so much. And in honor of 1K subscribers, I would like to answer the most requested question that I've gotten across the comment sections of all my media, across TikTok, across Instagram, across YouTube, and that is, am I making a webtoon? No. Okay, well, no, but like, yes, but no. I will go further into detail on that, but before I do, if you'd like to stick around and help the channel grow, why not leave a like and subscribe? It would really mean the world to me. So let's get into the video. Now, I do have a far more eloquent answer than just no for you guys, but really, to be honest, the answer is mostly no. And I will talk about that. So let's start with this sort of story that I've got going on. I think for simplicity's sake, I'm going to refer to it as Gemini, which is just sort of a working title that I've been going with for some time now. I don't know if it's actually going to be like the official title eventually, but maybe it will. I don't know, that's just what we're calling it for now. And if you don't know why, it's because the story at the beginning takes place in the fictional country of Gemini. So I've been receiving a lot of comments, like I said, on whether it is a webtoon, and not only that, but other variations of that comment. Is it a webtoon? Is it a novel? Is it a series that I can go watch somewhere, or read somewhere, or look at, or whatever? And the answer to all of those is no. Unfortunately, currently it's not. I didn't really expect when I started to publish animations and speed draws that go with this sort of world that I've created, that people would actually vibe with it and really like what I was doing. And it kind of grew really, really quickly. A lot quicker than I expected, and I'm super thankful for it. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people are expecting that this is some kind of bigger work right now that they can go and look at and enjoy. And as much as I'd like it to be, it's not. What you guys are seeing right now is the very, very beginning, because I still feel like I'm a very, very tiny creator. On YouTube I am, on other platforms not so much. But unfortunately, all of the published work that I've got for you guys on this series is already available. There's not really much else more for you guys to see at the moment. That being said, that's not to say that there's not more story that I already have. Now, Gemini. I've had these characters and this story for a long time now, coming up to 6 years. And I've fleshed it out a lot. It's actually been done and fully completed for almost a year now. The story and the plot and all that, like I've got it from start to end. But I don't know how to publish it, and that's my problem. And that's why I haven't published it yet, is because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I love this story and these characters so much that I really want to display them eventually in a way that'll do it justice and that I will enjoy creating. Now, I'm sure you don't know this about me. I have no idea why you would. But first and foremost, I was a writer before I, started drawing. And for a long time, I just thought that I would turn it into a novel, and just like, wow, good sound effects. You can't see me miming typing. Okay. And for a long time, I just thought that I would publish it as a novel, because physically that seemed to be the easiest thing for me to do, or at least the thing that I could do the fastest. Maybe not the easiest, because although I'd like to think of myself as a decent writer, I'm definitely not the best. And the problem with that is I don't actually like reading books. And I feel like that's going to be super unrelatable to a lot of you guys, because I know that a lot of people do like reading books. And I used to, a lot. But my problem is that now I have trouble focusing on one form of media at once. I'm a very big multitasker, if you can say that. Like, while I'm working, I'll have a video on in the background, I'll have some music on in the background at the same time, and when I read, I can't do that. That sort of bothers me, so I don't read anymore. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, but audiobooks. It's not my vibe. That being said, that's mainly the reason why I don't really want to publish just a novel. And it's not the only reason. Another reason is that I feel like there are certain parts that don't lend themselves to the novel format. They would work much better as a comic. On the topic of comics, it feels like a comic would probably be the best way to present it. Eventually, I feel like it lends itself to the story and the way that I've thought about how it would flow and that sort of thing. But the thing about comics that daunts me is how big of a task it is. And this goes for anyone, whether it's like mangakas, whether it's people who publish, webtoons. Stylistically, the comic will be different at the end from how it was at the beginning. And that worries me slightly, because I feel like it would... I know that it bothers a lot of people who publish comics, and I understand that this isn't just a me problem and that it's, the lay of the land, but I feel like that would bother me, I guess. It's just sort of a hill that I have to get over if I ever do try to do that. Another reason why I probably wouldn't try to do that, though, is that I'm worried about not being able to finish it. I'm worried about it being too big of a project to set myself. And that's why I started doing animations, because it just feels like those are each smaller projects that I can finish one by one, and I don't have to be so focused on a really big picture. It's just one animation at a time. And I haven't been animating for very long. I've only been animating since about June of this year. So I'm still figuring that out. But I feel like if I had it my way, in a perfect world, I would love to, pull a Vivzy Pop or pull a Rebecca Sugar or something like that and have my work be animated professionally or something like that. But I know that that's not something that very many people will ever be able to have their work taken on in that sort of way. And that's obviously like a very lofty dream. It's not like something that I think will realistically happen, especially since I'm not even studying animation or doing it professionally in any capacity. But it's always something that's been like the most S-tier level outcome that I could possibly think of. That being said, I have thought about more realistic ways that I could actually publish it. And that brings me onto the topic that might be contested by a few of you. Some of you might be loath to hear me talk about this, and some of you might be excited by it, but Homestuck. Now, look, okay, listen, before you click off the video, I'm not a Homestuck. And if you are a Homestuck, I'm not mad at Homestucks. I love Homestuck. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna get yelled at for my use of the term a Homestuck. But you know what I mean, okay? You know what I mean. A Homestuck fan. Someone who was in the Homestuck fandom. Something that I truthfully have, been at most on the outskirts to mid-tier of. I've never been super into the Homestuck fandom. In fact, I don't actually think I fully finished reading it when I did, and it was such a long time ago now that there are lots of bits of it that I could not tell you about. But one thing that I could tell you about is the style in which it was published, and that is something that I love. Okay, if you haven't read Homestuck, or if you haven't seen any of it at all, wow, good explanation. It's not a comic, and it's not a novel, and it's not a graphic novel. It's some kind of amalgamation of text and illustration and animation with interaction from the reader, if that makes sense. And now, I'm not trying to say that I want to publish Gemini in the exact same format as Homestuck because I think it's cool. Absolutely not. The way that Andrew Hussey published Homestuck is extremely integral to that story and would not work for mine in any way, shape, or form. But I do like the combination of text and then digital graphic novel with animation in there. I probably wouldn't go for the sort of interactive aspects route of it, but that is sort of the kind of direction that I've been leaning towards. Again, I still do not have any idea how I begin to go about it. And I feel like some of you are thinking, oh, I can't believe you want to try and copy Homestuck. Oh my goodness, how could you? And what was the other one? There was that sort of newer one that came out, Hive Swap. I say newer, it was a few years ago now, I think. Was it? I have no clue, actually. And to that I say no, absolutely not in any way. I just feel like it's a good starting point for sort of how I want to start going about it. Because those are three things that I can do. I can make comics, I can write, and I can animate. So I feel like if I can display Gemini in some form that combines all three, that would probably be good for me. Now, I feel like this video is probably going to be disappointing to some people because I know that a lot of people wanted to be able to just go and read this and find out what it all was about and just understand the story right there and love my characters. And I love that. I love that there are people who want to do that, but unfortunately that's not exactly something that's possible right now. In fact, I got some people that, I know they were joking, but there were people that were like, I want Netflix to collab with you right now. And that's very flattering, first of all. Second of all, that would be really cool. Third of all, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen at all. But that's not to say that parts of this story won't be available, because I'm still obviously making content on it, and I plan to make a lot more animations on it in the future, through which you'll hopefully be able to get an even bigger insight into like my characters and the world and the story about it, you know, just like bit by bit through little morsels that I make. There might not be a whole overarching story published thing for quite some time, but eventually there will be, so I'd love it if you guys stuck around, because in reality this is like the beginning of me publishing stuff about it. A lot more people here than I thought there would be a few months in, but I'm super glad to have you all here, and I hope that you'll stick around for the ride. That being said, you'll have to have a little bit of patience with me. So that pretty much brings us to the end of this one. Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird video, a little bit different than what I usually do. Oh, I didn't talk at all about what I was drawing. This is just sort of I wanted to draw something kind of fun and comic-y that included a bunch of my characters. So I've got 7 of them here. I've got Willow, Lucy, Jade, Leo, Felix, Elijah, 7, and pretty much the gist of what's happened is they were out at night and Lucy wanted to get something from the vending machine. Instead of paying, she decided to stick her arm inside and probably got stuck, and now everybody is making fun of her except for Leo, who wants to try and be helpful in some way, but still can't help but laugh at her misfortune. And I hope that you like it, as I always do. But that does bring us to the end of this video. If you liked it, why not go ahead and leave a like? If you didn't, a little bit weird that you're still here, but by all means, go and leave a dislike. If you'd like to stick around and find out more about my story as I publish it, why not subscribe? I do have TikTok and Instagram if you'd like to follow me there. Links are in the description below. Alongside it is my Kofi link if you'd like to shout me a Kofi to keep me awake at night while I work. That is all for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later!